Now we can go ahead and build the dense cloud. So we'll go back up to here to workflow and build dense cloud. And we see some other settings such as quality and some advanced settings. So this quality here you'll see also ranges from ultra high to lowest, kind of like from photo alignment. So you can find all of these settings, descriptions of these in the manual, but in short, you're kind of telling it what quality you want the dense cloud, as it's pretty straightforward. So ultra high, you want really high quality, and this uses the original photos to process for your dense cloud. Your high downscales a factor by 4, medium another 4, low another 4, and then lowest another 4. So I think low is now 64 and lowest is downscaled by a factor of 256. So this is a little bit different. Photo alignment, high was the original photos. Dense cloud, ultra high is the original photos. But this still follows the general rule of higher quality is going to take a little more time, a little more computing power. So for such a small image set like this, you could really do high or ultra high, and you won't really notice that much of a difference. We're going to use medium just for the sake of this tutorial. If you want to use high or ultra high, feel free to go ahead and select those. I don't really recommend using low or lowest. I think medium is kind of a good lower point for that. So we'll select medium. For advanced options, now we have something called depth filtering. And this is basically kind of, a built-in function that sorts out any outliers in the images. So we've got some few options. We can disable it altogether, or we can have mild depth filtering, so not that much filtering out some kind of outliers and stuff in the images, or we can do moderate, which is in between, or aggressive. So maybe mild, there's some important features that are small, or maybe they're blurry and you don't want them to be filtered out. You don't want Metashape to be so strict on what it kind of includes and doesn't include with the depth filtering. So you want to run it more on the mild side. Or if you want it to be pretty strict, you have a really detailed object and you want it to be strict with that, you can go ahead and check that and it'll sort them out. For this tutorial, you can go ahead and play around with either of these, but we'll go ahead and leave it on aggressive. And then reuse depth maps is kind of the same concept of reusing, your point cloud from the alignment process. So this is if you already ran a dense cloud and you want to use depth maps. So the dense cloud process actually runs in 2 stages. It'll process your depth maps, and then it'll process the actual dense cloud, which will appear as a very heavily populated points, more populated than this. It'll look a lot more like the object. So this is basically saying if I've already done that step and I want to reuse the first stage, the depth maps, reuse them. The calculate point colors, this is going to give your points colors that'll look more, more realistic. If you don't want colors, then go ahead and uncheck that. So the calculate point confidence is really something used for dense cloud filtering. This is kind of another kind of dense cloud editing that you'll learn about later on. So for now, we're going to go ahead and leave this unchecked. Okay, now we have our quality selected, your depth filtering selected. If you want colors on your points, calculate point colors, and we're going to leave the point confidence blank and go ahead and press OK.